Emergency dispatch. Units responding. Shots fired. Black Road Saloon. Multiple casualties reported. Repeat. Multiple casualties reported. Glass breaking. Radio static. Silence. Yeah. The smoke was hanging in the rafters like ghosts that wouldn't leave. Blood on the barroom floor mixed with whiskey and memories. The brothers I trusted were staring down iron sights. Funny how a lifetime of loyalty can die in a single night. Cain was standing in the shadows like a storm I should have seen. The same kid I once believed in, now tearing apart the dream. I built this kingdom mile by mile across every county line. Never thought the road ahead would leave me so far behind. Fallen king, broken crown, everybody wants the throne till it all burns down. Fallen king, no kingdom left to save, just another ghost riding through the grave. Fallen king, with nothing left to prove, and they take everything. They finally learn truth. Arizona felt colder than it ever had before. A Harley and a duffel bag, that's all I owned anymore. No patch upon my shoulder, no brothers riding near, just headlights cutting darkness and 40 years of fear. The radio kept talking like I was already dead. Maybe legends die twice, once in life and once inside their head. Every mile became a question, every sunrise felt the same. When they say your name in whispers, you ain't the man who came. Fallen king, broken crown, everybody wants the throne till it all burns down. Fallen king, no kingdom left to save, just another ghost riding through the grave. Fallen king, with nothing left to prove, and they take everything. They finally learn the truth. I'm Jack, I can still hear your voice echoing through the desert wind. You said power isn't what you own, it's what survives when it's gone. Back then I didn't understand, now it's all I understand. Dust to dust, road to road, kings fall down, legends roll. Dust to dust, road to road, the highway's the only home I've ever known. Some fires die, some fires learn to survive instead. The sun came up somewhere west of Tucson. The kingdom was gone, the road remained, and for the first time in a very long time, I had nowhere left to go. Vacancy, vacancy. Nobody asks questions out here. That's why I stayed. Cost $40, cash only every night. Neon bleeding through the curtains, pain goes across the light. The girl behind the counter never asked me for my name. Out here everybody's hiding, and everybody feels the same. I've been living off back roads, truck stop coffee and regret, trying to outrun memories that haven't stopped chasing me yet. Every sunset looks familiar, every morning feels the same. The desert doesn't care who you used to be or what they call your name. Desert ghost, nobody knows where the highway ends or where the story goes. Desert ghost, buried in the sun, still running from what I become. Desert ghost, drifting through the night, trying to find peace in the fading light. Saw my face on television, hanging in a border bar. Most wanted in 3 states. Funny how they made me larger than I am. The old man playing poker didn't even look my way. Out here legends don't mean nothing if you can't survive the day. Sometimes I hear the engines from another life I knew, the laughter of my brothers, the things we thought were true. The road keeps asking questions, I don't always have replies. Sometimes the strongest men are just the ones who survive. Desert ghosts, nobody knows where the highway ends or where the story goes. Desert ghosts, buried in the sun, still running from what I become. Desert ghosts, drifting through the night, trying to find peace in the fading light. The desert kept my secrets when nobody else would. The silence became company, the loneliness became understood. I stopped looking for forgiveness, stopped looking for a fight, started listening to the wind, talking through the night. Dust and miles, miles and dust, everything breaks, everything everything rust, dust and miles, miles and dust. Only the road still earns my trust. Desert ghost, the man I used to be, keeps disappearing further every time I leave. Desert ghost, the story isn't done. Sometimes you gotta lose it all before you become someone. Desert ghost, under desert skies, learning how to live without the old disguise. The vacancy sign went dark around 3 a.m. The wind kept blowing like it knew something I didn't yet. Spanish radio, truck passing, coins hitting the bar counter. The border isn't a place, it's a business. South of Tucson, north of nowhere, every road sign looked forgotten, every face carried a story nobody wanted remembered. I met Diego in Nogales, playing cards and drinking cheap beer. He looked at me and started laughing. Ghost walker, thought you'd be taller than that. The whole bar started laughing for the first time in years. So did I. Out here nobody cares who used to run the roads. The desert strips away everything but your soul. Borderline between wrong and right, between old ghosts and neon lights. Borderline, where the lost men roam, trying to find another home. Borderline, no kings remain, just dust and thunder and desert rain. Cartels moved at midnight, the truckers moved at dawn. Everybody had a reason, everybody carried one. Diego showed me hidden routes carved through mountains long ago, the kind of roads that never appear on maps the government knows. I started learning silence, started learning how to wait, started learning power doesn't always come from strength. Every border tells a story, every crossing leaves a mark. Some men lose themselves, some men find who they are. Borderline between wrong and right, between old ghosts and neon lights. Borderline, where the lost men roam, trying to find another home. Borderline, no kings remain, just dust and thunder and desert rain. Mexico on my left side, Arizona on my right. One world chasing money, the other chasing life. Funny how they're really the same thing in disguise. One more mile, one more town, one more deal going down. One more mile, one more line. Everything changes on the borderline. Somewhere between the lines, I stopped being a king and started being alive. The radio faded, the headlights rolled on, and somewhere south of the border, a new future was already waiting. Authorities continue searching for former Iron Vultures President Mason Walker, known by the alias Ghost. Citizens are advised not to approach. Radio click. Station television has my face up on the screen. Every county sheriff's office knows exactly where I've been. The papers call me dangerous, the headlines call me wild. Funny how they never mention I was somebody's child. I was somebody's brother, I was somebody's friend. Now I'm just another story with a reward attached again. Every mirror feels suspicious, every shadow feels alive. When the whole damn world is watching, you learn how to survive. Wanted man across the land, every town knows who I am. Wanted man, can't slow down, too many people want me underground. Wanted man, running through the night, trying to stay ahead of yesterday's fight. Yesterday's fight. Saw my picture at a diner just outside El Paso town. The waitress looked right through me, never once recognized the man. I left 20 on the counter and walked back to the rain. Sometimes being forgotten feels better than the fame. The road keeps moving forward, even when your life stands still. The hardest thing about freedom is learning how to heal. Every mile feels borrowed, every sunrise feels earned. Some lessons only matter after everything gets burned. Wanted man across the land, every town knows yesterday's fight. Abel's still chasing answers, Cain is chasing power. The wolves are chasing money, and I'm just chasing hours. Funny how the hunted man can see the truth so clear when everybody else is blinded by fear. Drive, hide, move, survive. Drive, hide, move, survive. Wanted me, but still alive. The desert taught me more than the easy life. Wanted me, still moving on. Some legends disappear, some become the storm. Wanted me, one thing remains: you can hurt the rider, but you can't chain the road. The radio faded, the highway stretched ahead, and somewhere beyond New Mexico, somebody still wanted me dead. Border cantina, pool balls breaking, glasses clinking. Diego laughed, then pointed at the map. Every line you see exists because somebody gets paid. Covered in old photographs, truckers, drifters, border ghosts. Everybody chasing something, nobody getting close. Diego spread a map across the table like a preacher reading scripture. Every road had a story, every shortcut had a price. He said governments draw borders, men like us learn how to cross them. And for the first time, that actually made sense. The world looks different when you're standing outside the law. Some roads are built with concrete, some are built with flaws. Crossing lines, crossing borders, crossing every rule they made. Crossing lines through the darkness, trying to find another way. Crossing lines, no turning back. Some roads only run one way. Crossing lines, and every mile changes who you are today. Midnight runs through desert canyons, headlights hidden from the sky. Nobody talks above a whisper, nobody asks the reason why. The money moved, the cargo moved, the stories moved along. Out here survival isn't pretty, it's just something you hold on to. I stopped looking over my shoulder, started looking down the road. Funny how freedom feels different when you've got nowhere left to go. The border never sleeps, the desert never lies. You learn more from one hard night than 100 easy lives. Crossing lines, crossing borders, crossing every rule they made. Crossing lines through the darkness, trying to find another way. Crossing patches and presidents. Now I'm watching truck lights disappear beyond the mountains, and realizing the people who control the roads control everything. Southbound, northbound, eastbound, westbound. Move the cargo, move the cash, move the future, move it fast. Crossing lines, that's how legends survive when the world decides you don't belong alive. Crossing lines, that's how empires start. One forgotten road, one desperate heart. Crossing lines, the horizon calls, and somewhere beyond these deserts, something bigger waits for us all. Diego folded up the map, finished his drink, and looked at me. You're not building a comeback, he said. You're building something bigger. For the first time, I believed him. Payphone ringing, 2:13 a.m. Tucson, Arizona. I almost let it rain. Then I saw your name. Motel sign was flickering outside room 17. A bottle sitting half empty, and memories in between. The desert had been quiet for almost 2 whole years. Then your voice came through the receiver and disappeared into my fears. You asked where I'd been hiding. I said everywhere and nowhere. You laughed like you always did, and suddenly I was standing back there. Some people leave your life and never really leave. Some names stay with you like tattoos underneath the skin. Midnight call across the line. After all these years, you're still on my mind. Midnight call from another life, still sounding like home in the middle of the night. Midnight call through all the miles. You still know the man behind the exile. You said they're still talking about the king who disappeared. I said legends get bigger every year. You asked if I was lonely. I looked around the room at peeling paint and faded curtains. In the silence I called truth. For a moment there were no warrants, no borders left to cross, no ghosts chasing my shadow, no kingdoms static in the memories we keep, the kind that don't disappear even after years apart. Midnight call across the line. After all these years, you're still on my mind. Midnight call from another life, still sounding like home in the middle of the night. Midnight call through all the miles. You still know the man behind the exile. You asked me if I regretted everything. I stared through the motel window at the desert sky and said, every damn day. And then I stopped and smiled, but not you. Neither one of us spoke for a while. The silence felt familiar, like an old song we both remembered. Midnight call across the years, through every highway, through every tear. Midnight call. The truth remains, no matter how far I run. You still know my name. Midnight call, one last goodbye, or maybe just enough hope to survive another night. The line went dead, the desert stayed silent, but for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel alone. I spent years chasing power, thinking that's what made a man. Built an empire from highways just to watch it slip through my hands. I buried brothers in the desert, I watched old dreams turn into dust. Funny how losing everything taught me who I was. The horizon keeps moving like it always has before, and every mile reminds me what I'm still fighting for. Last outlaw, still standing tall after every rise and every fall. Last outlaw, still riding free, the road's the only thing that belongs to me. Last outlaw, no crown to wear, just the desert wind and the open air. The border towns keep changing, the faces come and go. The world keeps chasing money while I keep chasing roads. Diego Diego says I'm different than the man he met before. Maybe losing everything opened up another door. Somewhere west of Tucson, with the sunrise in my eyes, I finally stopped running, started feeling alive. Every scar became a lesson, every lesson became a guide. You can survive the darkness if you learn to trust the ride. Last outlaw, still standing tall after every rise and every fall. Last outlaw, still riding free. The road's the only thing that belongs to me. Last outlaw, no crown to wear, just the desert wind and the open air. Iron Jack, I finally understand what you tried to teach me all those years ago. Freedom was never the reward. Freedom was always the road. No kings, no gods, only roads. 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 Last outlaw, the legend survives when everything else dies away with time. Last outlaw, the fire remains. You can take the kingdom, but you'll never take my name. Last outlaw, under western skies, the road keeps rolling, and so do I. The Harley kept rumbling, the desert kept calling, and somewhere beyond the horizon, a new future was waiting. Morning wind, boots in sand. Diego looked across the desert. What now? For the first time in years I smiled. Climbed over broken mountains, painting gold across the dust. Everything I built was gone now, everything I knew was rust. The road behind me carried memories, the road ahead carried unknowns. Somewhere between those two horizons, I finally learned to stand alone. The desert never promised answers, it only showed me who I was. And every scar I tried to bury became another reason to trust. Ashes in the sand is where we stand, building tomorrow with these empty hands. Ashes in the sand, the future starts again, somewhere beyond the horizon's end. maps before us, old routes nobody used, forgotten roads and hidden crossings, opportunities disguised as truths. The world keeps chasing headlines, the world keeps chasing crowns. Meanwhile, real power moves quietly without making a sound. I stopped looking at the wreckage, stopped counting what was lost, started looking toward tomorrow instead of staring at the cost. Ashes in the sand, that's where we stand, building tomorrow with these empty hands. Ashes in the sand, the future starts again, somewhere beyond the horizon's end. Ashes in the sand, the fire still survives. Some dreams refuse to die. I can still hear the engines from another life. I can still see the faces that helped me survive. Iron Jack, Diesel, every brother gone. You're the reason I keep moving on. Dust becomes rose, rose become kingdoms, kingdoms become legends, legends become stories, stories become fire, and fire never dies. Ashes in the sand, look what remains, everything I needed survived the flames. Ashes in the sand, a new day begins, the road didn't end, it simply changed again. Ashes in the sand, the desert understands how broken men can build greater plans. Diego folded the map and looked toward California. The wind carried dust across the highway. I look west, and for the first time, the future looked bigger than the past. Spoken. We don't rebuild the kingdom, we build something bigger.